Good morning Year 5D and welcome to our first maths lesson. It's Monday the 11th of January. Now this week we are going to be looking at multiplication and division. Now I know last week you did a little bit of a recap, so hopefully we're good to go. If you didn't do the lessons last week, I would recommend you print off the worksheets just to give yourself a little bit of an extra boost. Otherwise, we'll move straight into our first activity. Now, I'm going to be sharing my screen. You'll still see my little face in the corner there. And I'll ask you to pause at different points in the recording just so you can catch up and have a go at doing some activities. If you've got your whiteboard and pen, then you'll be able to do some jottings on there as we go along. Otherwise, I will ask you to either work in your Power Maths book or in your blue exercise book. And that's where we're going to start. So the first thing we're going to do this morning is we are going to do a little bit of a flashback. So just like we were in school, can you write the date today, 11th of January, just as it is on the screen? I'll just move myself a little bit. There we go. And what I would like to do is pause the video here and give yourself a few minutes just to have a go at those questions. Okay, so question number one was, what is the area of a square with a side length of 6 centimetres? Now you have to think, first of all, what do we know about a square? Well, it has 4 equal sides. So all the sides of that square are 6 centimetres. We also know from last half term that to work out the area of a square, we multiply the width by the length. So because the width is going to be the same as the length, with it being a square, we're going to do 6 times 6. So the answer is 36 centimetres squared. And it's really important that we do remember to put that little 2 next to the centimetres because we are talking about area. Number 2, what is 24 times 3? Now again, that's what we were doing in the recap last week. So different strategies we could do. We could partition that 24. So we could say 20 times 3 and then 4 times 3. You could have used some short multiplication if you are confident with that. But we get the answer 72. Number 3. Find the sum of £1,250 and £3,940. Again, lots of different strategies that we could use. Partitioning, column addition if you wanted to. Get the answer, £5,190. And last of all, write down a 4-digit number with 3 in the hundreds column. Well, you could have any answer really there, as long as, first of all, it's got 4 digits. So we've got ones, tens, hundreds and thousands. And that in that hundreds column, we can see the number 3, just like that. So for example, you could have, let me see if I can get my pen on here to give you an example. Let's try, we could have technology, there we go, could have 2,311. Or let's have another example, we could have 4,300. So again, we've got that 3 in the hundreds column and 27. You could even have 3,333 if you really want to. All that's important is that we've got that 3 there in our hundreds column. And over there we've got thousands, hundreds, tens and ones. Okay. And finally, we have our clock up in the corner here. Okay, now all our flashbacks this half term are all going to have a little bit of time in them. So our minute hand is pointing to the 11 or 55 minutes have passed the hour. So if you were to write this as digital time, we've not got to the 2 yet, so we still know it's 1. So if it's digital time that we're after, it's going to be 1:55. If we're looking at analog time, if you've written that time in words, it would be 5 minutes to 2, because you've got 5 minutes till that clock says 2 o'clock. Okay, let's move on. So our lesson today, we're looking at multiplying a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number. And we'll build up to that as we go along. So looking at the screen, there are some apple trees in an orchard. Okay, now this looks a little bit like an array, doesn't it? When we put the counters out and we use them for multiplication questions and calculations. So how many trees are there in total is the question. Now we could spend ages and ages counting every single tree and we get the correct answer. But we know as mathematicians, we're always trying to find the most efficient way of doing things. So should we count everything? I don't think so. I think we can use this just as we would do an array. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what calculation would you need to do? Just have a minute and pause there to have a chat with someone. What would you need to do? Okay, so what we need to do first of all is find out how many trees are in each row and how many trees are in each column, and that will tell us the calculation we need to do. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trees in each column, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 trees in each row. Now just think how long it took me to count all those trees in the row and then to have to count every single tree. It's going to take us a long time. So we're going to do the calculation. 17, so looking at the number in the row, times 8, the number in the column there. That's the calculation that we need to do to work out our answer. Now, my next question is, what strategies might you use? And what I want you to do now, again, is just pause the video and using a whiteboard, I want you to have an explore. So remember, we're looking at the calculation 17 times 8. What strategies might you use to get to that answer? Okay, just take a few minutes now. Okay, so one way we could do it is we can go back to doing arrays. We could partition the number into tens, that's 17, partition it into 10 times 8, and then 7 times 8. And you can see on the screen what we've done there. That's a little bit like what we had before with all those apple trees, but we've split them into 2 halves, into the 10s and to the 7. Okay, so on that one, we've got 10 times 8 equals 80. And then 8 times 7 is 56. And then you can see at the bottom, the very last thing that we need to remember to do if we are going to partition our calculation is we need to add those answers back together at the end. Okay, so just one more reminder, we're doing 8 times 17, and in this method, we've split it into 8 times 10 here, and then 8 times 7. And we just use those arrays to help us work it out. So you might have used a similar method there as well. You might have had a look at grid method. Now the thing with grid method and the last one, if I just go back, they work really similar, in a similar way, okay? So in this one, we split our calculation up into 8 times 10 and then 8 times 7. And as you can see with the grid method, we're doing exactly the same thing. We've taken that 17 here and we've partitioned it into 10 and 7 so we can split that calculation up. So we've got 8 times 10 here and then 8 times 7. Now I love grid method. I think it's a fantastic way, especially when we start to get to more tricky calculations. And just like before, as you can see, we've added them together here, okay? To make sure we do that final step. And we've got to the answer 136. And if we look at the last board, same answer, 136. We've come to the same answer each time. Okay. Now the other way we can do it is we can use short multiplication, okay? Now if we look at method 3, I'll try my pen on here. So what we've got here, we've got that 17 and we're multiplying it by 8. Now, actually, what we're doing here is exactly the same as grid method. It just looks a little bit different because we're splitting this calculation up still. We're doing 8 times 7 and then we're doing 8 times 10. Okay, so let's do that together. 8 times 7 is, we know that's 56. I'm going to put the 6 there. I'm just going to put that little 5 there to remind me that that's 5 tens, because we can't put 5 tens in that column, can we? This is for our ones. Okay, now then this one here, 8 times, well, it's not 1, actually we're doing 8 times 10, aren't we? So So 8 times 1 10 is 8 tens. And we're going to add this 5 tens on. 8 tens add 5 tens is 13 tens. So you see again, we've got exactly the same answer each time. 136, 136 and 136. 3 methods, same answer. And with this, it's all about picking, this week, it's all about picking the method that you find the easiest and the most efficient for you. Okay, so now we know, let's just skip right back to our first question. How many trees are there in total? So we can say there are 136 trees in total. Okay. So let's have a bit of practice at one of those methods. We know there are 136 trees. If I pick 6 apples from each of those trees, how many apples would this be? Now, I'm not expecting anyone to pause now and say the answer straight away. I want you to think though, what calculation do we need to do now? So just have a think. We know that there's 136 trees, and from each of those trees, I'm picking 6 apples. So if you look at this picture, each one of these apples, I'm picking 6 from. So the calculation that we need to do is 136 times 6. Let's write that down there. Okay, now thinking about those methods that we've just practiced, pick which one you feel the most confident with and have a little go now. Pause the video and just try that calculation for me. Off you go. Okay, let's have a look then. Because I really like grid method, so I'm going to use grid method. And as you can see, I've set my grid out ready for me here. 100, as you can see, let's get my cursor here. Ooh, there's my multiplying by 6 here. And I've split that 136 up into hundreds, into tens, and into ones as well. Now I'm going to start here. I'm going to do 6 times 6. And 6 times 6 is 36. Okay. Well, and let's move into this box now. I've got 6 times 30. Okay, thinking about known facts that I can help me work that out. Well, I know that 6 times 3 is 18, and we can make it 10 times bigger then, because we're not doing 6 times 3, we're doing 6 times 30. So making 18 10 times bigger by moving it one place to the left makes 180. And then in this final box here, 6 times 100, and we get the answer 600. There we go. Now that's not the end of it, is it? If I'm doing grid method, I've got one more step to do. Oh, look at that. I've got my answers right. Remember, we have to add all of these answers together. So just like we're doing column addition here, can you see I've made sure everything's lined up, so all my ones are in the same column, my tens are in the same column. Okay, so that's 600, 180 and 36 from that grid method. I'm now putting into here and we can add these up. So no, add 0, add 0, add 6, it's going to be 6. 8 tens, add 3 tens, it's going to be 11 tens. Now I can't write that 11 tens there, so I'm going to put one of those there, and the 10 tens is going to become 100 and go in this column. So then we've got 600, add 100, add this extra one down here to get the answer 816. Did you get the same answer as me? 816? Have I made any mistakes? Yes, okay. So we can finish our question. I picked, not the children, I picked 816 apples. I must like apples. I'll be making lots of apple pie till I picked 816 apples. Okay, so it's your turn now. Now I know that that was a lot. What you need to do is go into your Power Maths books and look at pages 6, 7 and 8. Work through as much as you can. I do know that as we get to the end, it does get a little bit trickier. Try your hardest. Any questions, message me on Dojo, email me, and I will help out with whatever I can. If you need to go back over anything, the PowerPoint will be on the planner as well, so you can have a little bit look at those methods one more time. Okay, good luck, I'll post the answers later, and I will see you for an English lesson later on.